Let's see if I can be heard. I just tried to do a live stream and people told me they couldn't hear me. So let's test if my voice can actually be heard here on this live stream, hopefully. All right. Okay, people are coming on. Please let me know if you can hear me. Can I be heard? Okay, perfect. Okay, welcome guys to this live stream. And it's still fucking translating that shit automatically. Okay, well, all right. Good. Welcome to this live stream in okay, perfect. Everybody can hear me. Fantastic. Okay. So in this live stream, I'm going to talk about the Spirit Prism Matrix escape plan. If you don't know what that is yet, I'm going to let you know exactly what it is about. And let's go into it. So please understand that this is not a typical live stream. This is an actual transmission with a lot of symbolic, mythological, and magical weight. Okay, so just so you know where you have to categorize this, all right? I know you can feel it. I know you experience it every day. The world is actually a prison, okay? It's a prison for your spirit. And the purpose of this prison is to farm your energy, okay? So you are, or your energy is being harvested. All the frustrations that you go through, all the problems that you have, all the powerlessness that you experience is intentionally constructed so that you generate energy, meaning emotional energy that is being harvested by evil sorcerers that created this Spirit Prism Matrix a long time ago. Now, even incarnation or reincarnation is not an escape because this spiritual system will make sure that you stay here unless you have reached a certain level of awareness and power to escape it voluntarily. Okay. Now, most people are in this prison and are not even aware that it exists. The Spirit Prism Matrix consists of energetic systems, psychological systems, it's the education system, it's financial systems, it's politics, it's religions, indoctrination, the media, all of that is part of one prison complex designed to entrap and enslave the soul. It controls people, like I said, through false religion, media, money, fear, despair, distractions. There's a reason why the news are constantly stressing people out. Now, I am, most of you know me. Some people who will watch this live stream don't know who I am. That's why I'm going to give you a brief introduction about who I am. I'm Aurelius Sopax. I've been initiated into the occult at 13 years old. That's where my training began, and I've been trained by high-level magicians, esoteric orders. I've been an initiate in many magical systems, and eventually I reached the level of a master. Then I started teaching, but my purpose, the purpose that I've been given, not necessarily have chosen, is to be the liberator of the Spirit Prism Matrix. The goal is to help as many people as possible to liberate themselves from the Spirit Prism Matrix so that they can then join me in a resistance, so to speak. Right? This is a resistance of consciousness, first and foremost. The reason why I focus on things like money, magic, and psychic seduction so much is because those are some of the most important shackles that people carry, if you will. People are mainly imprisoned by those two things. It's finances, money, material conditions, and lust. But when you have control over those using magic, you're free. And now you can begin to think about higher levels. This is why I focus on those two so much. So I'm not a guru, I'm not an influencer or something like that. I'm a master magician whose purpose is to free as many souls as possible from the spirit prison matrix, elevate them to a level where they have complete control over their lives through magic, and then hopefully, I mean, if you want, that's great, but you don't have to join me in this fight. But the purpose, the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm trying to create as many allies as possible that can help me in fighting this spiritual prison that we all inhabit here. So for this purpose, I've created the Spirit Prison Matrix Escape Plan, which is a full spectrum system of power and escape. This is not a course, but it is a path of transformation and dominion. So what I did was, in alignment with the purpose, I created a training program, essentially a transformation process, and I reverse engineered what is necessary in order to get to a point where people are actually ready to start fighting the Spirit Prison Matrix alongside with me, if they choose to do so. If not, they can just take what they learned and live the life of their dreams. That's fine. One last slave in the system. But ideally, I want to create allies, people that are super powerful, have complete control over the material conditions of their lives, and then can join me in my order, and we can together start fighting the system at a magical level, at a spiritual level. So this transformation has been reverse engineered from wherever you are to this point, and that's the Spirit Prison Matrix Escape Plan. Okay. It entails what? There are 5 pillars, and please understand this is for the serious and not for the curious, or this is not for dumb people, this is not for lazy people, this is not for idiots, essentially. It's for people who are willing to dedicate themselves. Number 1, money magic is one of the pillars. It's command wealth energetically and strategically. That includes financial astrology. That includes high-level investment education. You could call it the investment master society, because you're going to learn high-level stuff in there. And money magic, of course. That entails psychic seduction, which is exactly what it is, what it sounds like. It is the ability to seduce people psychically, and love magic. So you can basically, you have your pick, whatever partner you would want to have, multiple partners, whatever. You can get that. You can also improve the current relationships that you have and do whatever it is that you want with it. But the main goal is to give you choice in regards to seduction, right? In regards to, not getting laid. I mean, if you want to use that for getting laid, be my guest, but you can use it for much, much more. Magic University is also part of this, which is real left-hand path ritual training and spiritual, I wouldn't call it warfare, but turning you into a real left-hand path initiate. That's what Magic University is about. Good. Noetic Dominion, which is the teaching and the program that gives you the power to take a full control over your mind and to reprogram it from the matrix code to sovereign control. And then there's the Halls of Silent Dominion, which is a meditation program for power, not peace, ritual stillness, what magicians will need if they want to master their craft. Now, each one of those is a private mentorship and a private membership with structured on-demand video training and many, many documents as well. You will have listen, this is not superficial stuff. These columns together, if you go through that training, you will transform yourself into a master over the esoteric arts. And this is not overstating it at all. In fact, you will know more than 99.9% of all initiates on this planet. Because let me tell you a secret. There are many, 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 many practitioners out there that have spent 30 years trying to get magic to work. And these people still can't pay their rent. They still have ugly wives, ugly girlfriends. They're unhealthy. They have shit lives, essentially. Shit lives. And they are coping by letting you know, listen, I'm not even interested in all of this material stuff. I call that bullshit. This is bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Of course it is. Why? Because the prerequisite to even focus on higher levels is to master the lower levels. If you can't master the material plane, how are you planning on negotiating with gods? You know? So all of these people are coping, obviously, right? So we have to get the bottom in order. The bottom of the pyramid needs to be under our control, and then we can build on other stuff, right? So these training programs that I'm providing here are turning you into a complete master over your life and more. You'll be more powerful than 99.9% of the magicians out there. For sure, I promise that. Now, all of these columns are integrated, meaning each one supports the others, okay? So the Halls of Silent Dominion, the Magician's meditation training, supports Magic University, which is the ritual magic, the left-hand path practice. That supports, of course, money magic, and that money magic will support, or rather, Magic University then supports psychic seduction and money magic. And Noetic Dominion, the control over your mind and the ability to completely restructure, design it, and make it so that it is the perfect conduit for your work, supports everything here. So all of these things are integrated, and that creates a synergistic effect. Okay. You have to also understand that you can't just buy entry. That does not work. Okay. You have to apply, and you have to be a good fit for this, because this is not for everybody. It really isn't. You know, I wish it would be for everybody, but most people just aren't ready, and probably never will be. So this is for the elite few. Okay. This is definitely only for the elite few that have what it takes and are ready and have the guts to start their journey. Okay. I wanted to say balls, but that's not what it is. It's about having the courage, right? Having the courage to step into a new life, essentially. Are you willing to become a magician? It sounds interesting, it sounds funny, it sounds like, you know, maybe like a movie to you, but are you ready to not only hold the power, but also the responsibility to have all of this power? Because that's what you need to do. And that's why you're being vetted. So if you want that, you should message me with a direct message to the Telegram profile that I've linked in the description under this live stream. Okay, so go into the description of this live stream, whether you can do that now or later, and message me there and tell me that you would like to become part of the Spirit Prison Matrix escape plan. Okay. So now, for the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to take some questions, and hopefully I can help you. Good to see you live again, Frank. I want to ask, how do you get rid of negative energy from your family lineage? Well, the aura of the of an individual has multiple layers, right? I'm sure you heard about that, right? So there's the, let's stick to the lowest three levels of your aura. There's the mental level of your aura, which is connected to your Manipura chakra. Then there's the astral level, which is connected to your sacral chakra. And then there's the etheric body, which is connected to your root chakra. Family problems, something that you inherited, such as family karma or something like that, is usually connected to your root chakra. And that is connected to your etheric body. Okay, so we could say that all of those problems that you're experiencing or that have been accumulating in your family, which is an energy field, are accessible through your etheric body. So what you need to do is you need to structure and clean out, for lack of a better word, your etheric body, which has a lot to do with creating flow, if that makes sense, okay? Every condition in your life is in some way or another connected to your energy field. You have to identify where, at what level you are connected to those things, and then you have to create structure and order in that. What does that look like for you? If you were to do that. If you restructure your etheric body and create flow again, and create order in that energy field, your work is going to have a subconscious effect on family members, okay? So it's almost as if you're raising the frequency of your entire family, so they will benefit from that as well. The subconscious trauma is not only going to be released in you, but it's going to be released from them as well. And that's going to show itself in the following way. See, the etheric layer is always the blueprint for what happens physically. Okay, so let's say there are arguments, or people in the family don't talk to each other anymore, or there's a lot of resentment or something like that. That's going to evaporate. And the quality of the physical condition is going to improve as a byproduct of the energy that you changed. And everything in your life that is connected to your aura and your energy field works very similarly. What you need to do is you need to be able to identify what part of your aura is being affected, where the problem lies, and you need to create order and flow in that layer of your energy body. And that then will automatically improve the physical condition. A lot of your money problems, if somebody has money problems, it's usually rooted there too. Not in the family, but in the etheric body. Please understand, your etheric body is not limited to your physical proximity. It entails the blueprint for everything that has an effect on your physical life. So your finances, as a blueprint, are part of your etheric body as well. So when you clean out, structure, and create flow in the energy field that represents your finances, you will literally improve the financial conditions of your life. And the equivalent applies to everything else in your life as well, okay? So etheric body, family karma cleared out by structuring and improving the quality of your etheric body. And you can do that for other people as well. It's not just your field that you can affect, but that of others as well. Craziest thing you manifested with the Goetia. I'm not here to give you some sensationalist stuff. Okay. Hello Frank, I've tried to attune myself to the printed out symbol of the Grail of the Serpent a couple of times, as per in one of your videos, but there have been no results so far. What might I be doing wrong? There's a million things that you could be doing wrong. A million things. Will a ritual with the Archangel Raphael be helpful in curing a family member recently diagnosed with leukemia and in chemo? Or is there a more helpful, effective spirit to work with? See, guys, I don't know where that comes from, but you have to understand that, see, magic, and more importantly, your ability to do magic has a lot to do with the structure of your own energy body. Most of the rituals that you're going to do or attempt to do, somebody else mentioned here they couldn't attune themselves or astrally connect to the seal of the grail of the serpent. Of course not, because your energy bodies are so closed off. You don't understand the structure of your own aura. You don't understand the structure of your own mind, but you think that by just calling upon a spirit, that spirit is going to, first of all, listen to you, and secondly, appear in the first place. Why would that happen? Now, just think about that logically. Why would that happen? There's nothing that separates you from another person. Okay? But you think that by saying a couple of words and looking into a sigil, you can command a force of nature. How would that work? You need to create a structure in your energy body, in your aura, that allows you to do all of those things. Okay? This is, I don't know where that mindset comes from. Okay? It might be, I don't know, it's basically, maybe because a lot of people made it sound so easy, you just have to call a spirit and tell it what to do. No, you have to create an invisible internal infrastructure. Your aura is the tool that you use in magic, and that needs to be structured and honed and designed in a certain way. So unless you're a serious practitioner that has a regular magical practice, that knows exactly how to structure their energy body and all of that stuff, you're not going to get results. I'm not going to lie to you. The reason why you're not getting results is because you don't have what it takes to get the results. It's just a fact, okay? And anything that I could tell you here would not be sufficient to fix that problem. You have to go through a training program, okay? I'm done with trying to bullshit people, or I've never done that. I'm just not here to entertain your fantasies, okay? Magic is real, yes, but it takes a certain quality of the magician in order to make it work, obviously, okay? So I don't think you have what it takes. That's my honest answer. How do you get what it takes? You dedicate yourself to this craft. That's what it is. Dedicating yourself to this craft means, do you even meditate every day? Do you have the concentration abilities? Do you have the structure of the energy body? Do you meditate? Can you even visualize? You know, so all of this is amateur bullshit, and I'm really never been in the mood to entertain that even, you know. Would you say that a lot of people hurt themselves with the occult from ignoring certain trauma in themselves they didn't heal? Yeah, all the time, of course. Yeah, for sure. But it's not just magic. People do that all the time. This is energy work at a high level. Any energy needs to be handled in a certain way, okay? A lot of people destroy themselves, like a lot of celebrities destroy themselves because they can't handle the fame, which is too much energy inflow. Or they can't handle the money. A lot of people can destroy themselves because they can't handle the money. A lot of people can't handle, power. So yes, everything in the universe is energy flow. So energy comes in and it needs to be processed in a certain way through the energy infrastructure of the person, and then the result is what they put out. So if the energy comes in, but the person is not structured in the right way, meaning they don't have clean ethics, the energies are not clear, they don't do a lot of introspection where they get rid of their traumas and all that stuff, this energy will come in and it will interact with a system that's already broken. So what's going to happen with a system that's already broken? The system's going to break down completely. So more energy or more money, more influence, more power can be catastrophic depending on who you give it to. They will destroy themselves with it. It takes a certain person to be able to handle those things, you see. And even some of your idols in magic have destroyed themselves with that because they couldn't handle the energies. As simple as that. Always look at the person and their character. What does their life look like? By their fruits you shall know them. I rarely quote Jesus. Is that even Jesus? I don't know. I rarely quote the Bible, but that is definitely true. By their fruits you shall know them. Okay? So if you have a person that is trying to teach you about life or about any subject, but their life is fucked, why would you listen to that person? I mean, that's common sense. Same with magicians. A lot of people tell you that they will teach you how to use magic to influence the world. I'm going to teach you how to call upon gods and demons and angels. But that person can't even handle their own emotions. Are you fucking kidding me? Like this, it's common sense. It really is common sense. And that's how you have to look at life. Now, also pay attention to yourself, because what attracts you is a reflection of you. So if you're attracted to the sensational bullshit, then that says something about you. You know, broken people attract broken people. Narcissists attract narcissists. Psychopaths attract psychopaths. It's just what it is. And whatever is resonating with you is speaking to something within you. Okay? When invoking, do I need to sit in a protective circle? It really depends on what you're doing. Ideally, yes. But are you working inside of an actual magical system, or are you just randomly invoking spirits? Now, if you're actually invoking, I mean, once again, that's a very, very general question. Depending on what tradition you work with, some traditions don't have circles. But if you're working inside of an actual tradition, the first thing that you have to do is you have to understand the mental layer of the system. What is the inner logic of the system? What are the archetypes that you're working with, and so on and so forth, right? You have to memorize that by heart. You have to learn to interpret the cosmos through the mythology of that system, okay? And then you have to have the ability to get emotionally involved when you observe those archetypes interacting with each other. Ideally, you get even sexually aroused, because this is psychosexual energy. Emotional and psychosexual energy is first of all, the astral fuel, and it's the engine really that makes magic work. Okay? And then if it is part of that actual tradition, yes, you should be inside of the protective circle. If it is not part of that, don't be in the circle. But the key is you have to understand what you're doing. You can't just randomly invoke a spirit without having a context. Do you get what I'm saying? Without having a context, this is all bullshit. You can't just randomly pick a spirit, invoke it, and then use a protective circle that is not part of that system. But see, what I'm trying to say is essentially that this question tells me that you don't know what you're doing, my friend. What you need is a solid understanding of the craft and what the fuck you're actually doing, okay? And that might actually help you. Magic is not something that you can consume like fast food or McDonald's. There's no fast way of actually becoming a magician, okay? You can speed up the process, but there's a transformation that needs to happen. You know, but this is, once again, this is a reflection of the times that we live in. A reflection of the times that we live in. People want everything fast. And they don't want to change. They don't understand change. You know why? Because they're afraid. It is truly fear that is stopping people from everything. It is truly fear. Unconscious fears. You know. Good. So I'm going to take one or two more questions if there are any. and then I'm going to wrap this up. Now, I don't want to talk to the dabblers, really. I'm not interested in that. I want to talk to the people that are able to dedicate themselves, the people that are actually capable of having discipline, a daily discipline, that are capable to keep going even when it's hard. Those that understand that that is the only way you can squeeze any kind of value out of life. To keep going when other people stop. This is when the universe rewards you with something that other people don't have. You see? So I'm only interested in talking to people that actually have that character trait, because everything else is a waste of time. If you don't have this trait, where you're able to keep going when it's hard, there's no point. Nobody can help you at that point. Nobody. What is the investment for exchange for the Spirit Prison Matrix escape plan? You need to message me, please. Message me on Telegram. I linked the profile in the description under this video. What's the difference between regular manifestation and magic? Okay. All right. If someone is no longer able to receive affection from others, are they emotionally blocked deeply? But I don't know how to answer that, honestly. If someone is no longer able to receive affection from others, are they emotionally blocked deeply? You know, I get it. It's kind of hard to ask questions in a deep way with a limited amount of characters that you can use. I mean, that's a deep question. Like, what do you want me to say? Yes, no? Listen, the main problem is that people are way too attached to their emotions. That's the problem. The way you should see, in my opinion, you are not your thoughts, you're not your emotions, you're not even your body. What you are is an energy field. People are way too attached to what they're experiencing in the moment. What you need to do is, in my opinion, you need to live from principles and purpose. Okay? Live from principles and purpose. Don't live from emotions. If you live paying attention to affection and emotions too much, listen, there's nothing wrong with enjoying that and experiencing that. But the more that becomes your focus, the less you're living in a meaningful way. Okay? What you need to look for is meaning, not feelings. You need to live your life based on meaning. And meaning is principles. Carefully chosen principles and values and goals. And that's your guidance. Okay? Now there's also, I understand that that's a very masculine trait. A lot of women are more guided by emotions. And that's okay. Because females in general are more emotional, and that's good. But if you want to live a masculine imperative, it is important that you live based on principles, not based on emotions. Because your emotions are going to shift. Today you're going to feel different today than tomorrow, and in between there's a lot of chaos. You must stay connected to something that is more important than your emotions and more important to fucking affection. I also have a newsflash for you. As a grown man, affection is the last thing that you're going to get. I see a lot of grown men living their life based on affection. That is never growing up. It's essentially still a boy. You're still searching for the validation from your mommy. That's basically what you're doing. Life as a man means you have principles that you live by, and you would continue doing that even if the whole world, no matter who tells you, I hate you, but you have the conviction and you know that it is right to live that way. Okay? That's it. But if you're looking for affection, you haven't disconnected from your mommy, if that makes sense. You're still dependent on validation, and at the end of the day, it's life force, energy from your mommy. That is actually a problem in your root chakra. You haven't connected to your own source of power. But this is actually very common with grown men, adult men. This is the majority of men, by the way. If you put a woman in front of them, that woman, through browbeating, can submit these guys. They're so weak. They have such little convictions and principles and power within themselves that the emotional ups and downs of a woman destroy them. That is, but that's a different topic. But that's most men, by the way. Most men are still boys. And their mommy, whether in the form of the actual mother or their girlfriend or their wife or a random woman down the fucking street, can break them. And in reality, most men live still for the validation of their mother. That's why they do what they do. Like a lot of guys get rich to get women to like them. It's still the same frame. It's still that. So, but that's a different topic, obviously, okay? So, and you know what's funny? Just some last thought on that. What's funny about humans is that the less you need affection from them, the less you desire affection from them, the more you get it. It's kind of like most things in life are a little bit counterintuitive, And the easiest way to get women to actually like you is to not need them, which is kind of ironic, But that's what it is. We all know women go crazy for the guy that doesn't need them, right? But that's human nature, is what I'm trying to say. So the point is, focus on your principles and live from your principles. But that can only happen when you're connected to your daemon, right? So you have to have a mission in life, and even if the whole world hates you for it, you know that it's the right thing and you keep going. So is it possible to be completely unaffected by external validation, since humans are social creatures? I'm not saying that you're not affected by it. Obviously, as a human being, you're affected by other people. The question is, what choices do you make? Can you feel something and still make the decision that is against your feeling because you know rationally that it is the right thing? Most people can't. Most people will cave. What is a good everyday habit to start developing for practicing magic? Meditation. Meditation is probably the most important thing. Okay. All right, so message me. And the way to, you find my profile for Telegram in the description under this video. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.